Well, joining us to take a look at so far at the NFL preseason is Evan Kenny. Evan, there's a few storylines, and we'll get to that in just a little bit here. One of the highlights, of course, is seeing all the rookie QBs, of course, from this past draft that are making some game action. Guys like Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, just to name a few. How would you rate their performance so far, and I guess how have they done up to this point from camp until right now?
Yeah, Connor, I think we've seen quite a few actually high spots from these young QBs. Obviously, the preseason is the time for these guys to just get used to playing that professional style game, right? They're moving up from playing against guys who are 18 years old to now playing against guys who can be, up to 33 years old typically. So this is just a learning experience for these guys. With that being said, we have seen a handful of standouts, just starting things off with Trey Lance and the San Francisco 49ers. He started things off with an absolutely beautiful 80-yard bomb of a touchdown pass, just his second pass thrown of the game, first completion there. So great to see that from Trey Lance. Obviously, a big thing about him was that big cannon of an arm, plus his athletic ability. So we did get glimpses of that. I would have liked to see him get a little more touches on the ball, a little more completions there. Just went 5 for 14, 128 yards in total. So not bad from him. Moving on now, Mack Jones and Zach Wilson, each two first-rounders, one for the Patriots, one with the New York Jets. Both very efficient games. Zach Wilson throwing 6 for 9, Mack Jones 13 for 19. Neither of them really racking up those big yards, but getting those completions, which obviously is huge when you're looking to win games in the future. Trevor Lawrence, obviously #1 overall pick. Lots of expectations for the young Jaguars quarterback going into this one. Didn't start things off very well, though, Connor. He was sacked and fumbled the ball on the very first drive of the game for him. So not great. He bounced back a little bit, throwing 6 for 9, but not quite that starter that Jaguars fans, or really NFL fans around the world, were expecting. It's still up in the air whether or not him or Gardner Minshew is going to get that start. But now, Connor, what isn't up in the air, in my opinion at least, is who's going to start for the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields jumped in his first game, threw 1 touchdown pass, was able to rush for another, and as well 14 for 20, threw 142 yards. He looked like he came ready. In my opinion, Connor, Justin Fields was the #1 rookie quarterback in week 2 of the preseason.
And of course, he was very highly regarded. We thought he could have gone #3, so it's not surprising seeing Justin Fields' numbers. And with Trevor Lawrence, we're sure he'll definitely bounce back and learn from this. He is definitely a very smart quarterback. Who are some other rookies, Evan, in your mind that are looking to have really good seasons going forward and are also continuing to have pretty good preseasons right now?
Well, one guy, Connor, who started things off on a fantastic note, that's Sherwood Park, Alberta's own Chuba Hubbard. Obviously, the Canadian Cowboy, we heard a lot about him. 2 years ago specifically, he had a little bit of a down last season in his college career, was drafted in the 3rd round where, at the beginning of that season, lots of people would have thought he would have been a lock as a first-rounder there. So the Carolina Panthers got a real steal in Chuba Hubbard, rushed for 80 yards, including a 59-yard run on just 7 touches. So, Connor, I think, outside of those rookie QBs and Justin Fields, like I said, I think I got to give this next best rookie to Chuba Hubbard here.
Yeah, of course, it's always great to represent kind of the local products. Even though we're in Lloydminster, it's still nice to see a Canadian making waves there. I know Carolina's had some running back issues from last year. Now this year, hopefully, he can help fill those needs. And as we get into storylines on the last topics here, Evan, for me, I look at the Green Bay Packers. We all know that Aaron Rodgers has, made it publicly. He, wants to move on, and Jordan Love's finally getting the starts he deserves. He's been sitting on the sidelines for a long time. I'm interested to see on how things will go with him for that regard, because we know he got his very first start in the preseason this past weekend, and then as well as hoping to get more regular season action, because he doesn't give Aaron Rodgers like Brett Favre. He doesn't give up the spot too easily, and he kind of just holds on for as long as he can there. Do you kind of agree with maybe that it's now Jordan Love's time for Green Bay?
I don't know if it's exactly Jordan Love's time quite yet. We'll obviously have to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers moving forward. But I do know this, Connor, the Green Bay Packers think it's time for Jordan Love. He's starting to get a lot more reps coming through this preseason. Like you said, got his first preseason start here. Now, he did suffer a shoulder injury that did keep him out of practice. He got an MRI, and that did come back clean. So, Connor, just to add to your point, I wouldn't be surprised if he did get more time. Now, is it exactly time yet? I guess only time will tell once he gets a little more reps under that belt. And just talking about quarterback rooms, it will be interesting also just seeing with the New Orleans Saints, obviously Drew Brees no longer part of that team, just to see what will happen, whether Taysom Hill, sort of that utility player guy who's played quarterback, running back, tight end for the Saints, or if Jameis Winston, really who will get the start there. It'll be interesting. Connor, if it's up to me from a pure quarterback perspective, I think Jameis Winston's definitely a better quarterback, especially if the Saints can work things out with star receiver Michael Thomas and get him back on the field, have that deep threat. I think that's a good combo.
I think it'll be a fun NFL season nonetheless. Hopefully lots of fans can come back and enjoy it and enjoy the games that they've missed for a long time there. Evan, Kenny, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Connor.